everyone. Hi. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Lunch Break with ATI. I am Cynthia Collins, one of the co-founders of Actors Theater of Indiana, the resident professional theater company at the Center for the Performing Arts in good old Carmel, US of A. And today I have with me the lovely and talented Jessica Mires.
Hello.
Jessica
Good to be here.
Yes, I know. We met about 5 minutes ago. As always, I walk in, meet the guest, and we're like, let's go. But I like it better that way. So I get to know her when you get to know her, right on the spot. But we've been doing a series for the past few weeks, having on young kind of entrepreneurs. They've all been friends of Scott Osborne. And Jessica is a friend of Scott's, but she is actually his manager. And I was asking her right before we went on, manager can have a few different connotations, you know. Sometimes it's like a manager acts as an agent. Sometimes a manager just helps you manage your finances. Sometimes a manager helps you after you get the gig and is the go-between. So for Scott, what is it that you
manage?
Right.
So I kind of do business consulting for creatives is how I like to frame it. So I kind of fill in the gaps that creatives can have on the business side, or I help with project management, getting things done, and just help make their lives a little bit easier so that they can focus on the stuff that they care about most.
Right. On the and with Scott, it's on his art.
Right. So
and so it really is kind of the artist.
Yes.
The artist or the talent. Not that you're not talented.
Right.
But so they can just so they can do this side of the brain.
Yes.
And you can do the other side of the brain.
Right.
Correct.
And they don't have to worry about it, and I just help them through tax season and business decisions, work through that process so they're not using their brain power to figure all that boring stuff out, because it's not always the fun stuff.
No, it's not. It's the business. It's almost like it's the business end.
Yes.
You're taking care of the business end of any artist.
Right.
But not just artists. I mean, what else do you
So
do?
I've also do some social media consulting for a podcast in town, and that's been fun. I like to challenge myself a lot, where I kind of just jump into stuff if I've never done it before, and I go, okay, we're going to learn how to do this, and we're going to have fun with it, and that's kind of what I did with this. So it's been really fun to see how trying different things and experimenting with stuff, how that goes.
Well, sometimes you have to do that because you're not going to know.
Right.
Unless you just, like you said, jump in and kind of trial by error.
Yeah.
Almost. And well, that didn't work,
Right.
So I know what that is. So you, what made you, were you working, how did you meet Scott? Let's just go. How did this all come about? Let me just say it that way.
I feel like with most things with Scott and the Osborne family, my family has known Meg and the Osbornes for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think about
everyone.
15 years, but I'd actually never worked directly with Meg or Scott until the last year or so.
Okay.
So got plugged in with that, helping him with his business. And it's been great, but we've known them for a while.
Yeah, well, Meg Osborne
knows everyone.
Meg
it's
Gates
wonderful.
Osborne baffles my mind how many people she knows either through swimming.
Right, and knows so well and remembers. And
she went to Culver Academy. There's such a huge Culver Academy circle here. It's a big deal here. I always find out, another Culver person. We all know each other. So Meg, how'd it go down?
Right.
So you were like, hi, you know me.
Right. Kind of.
I've known you since I was a kid.
Right.
Right. Our families have known each other. And what made you be like, I'm going to manage Scott?
Meg actually approached me about it. She knew prior to having kids, I worked in a startup, helping them grow their business. And basically, I came in there, saw that things needed to be cleaned up on the back end, and took that challenge and ran with it.
Yeah.
So Scott and Meg had been working with my dad, and Meg saw an opportunity for Scott to grow his business a little bit, need a little assistance with it, and she approached me about it. So.
And what did your dad do?
My dad does consulting as well, so he does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does more career consulting versus business
Okay,
consulting.
okay. So you're like, okay, I'll give this a try.
Yeah.
Right? Because you kind of did it.
Kind of did it, but not in a one-on-one working with an individual.
Yeah.
And I've really been enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. So what is it specifically that you're, taking care of through his, so he doesn't go up in flames?
So
when he's soldering something.
I take care of the bookkeeping, any documentation that's needed. I manage that. Working on his social media as well, and then a lot of project management. So if he has a commission come in or a new opportunity that someone's approached him with, I'm the one doing the follow through on that, so that he can just focus on the art,
that's
get
like
that done,
agent. God, I was just going to ask you something right out of my head. Oh man. So you, helping da. All right. So maybe it'll pop back in my head as you were talking. I thought of something. So you are from here. You're a native. I mean, like you said, you went away to school.
Right. For
University
4
of
years,
Evansville.
University of Evansville, yes.
But then you stuck around here. Now in Carmel or Indianapolis or the central Indiana area?
In Carmel, basically. Yeah, right now we're living right on the border of 96 and Keystone, so we're technically Carmel, but
Well, you are.
Yeah.
That 96th Street is like the border.
This is the border, yeah.
In Indianapolis. So you grew up here with your your parents moved.
Yep.
This is.
Yeah, lived here my whole life. My parents moved here before they had me. And my brother and I were raised here and went to school at Heritage, which is also, that's how we met Meg.
Yeah. So how was it growing up here when none of this was going on?
It's been a lot of changes.
Yes. A ton of changes that you've seen as a native of Carmel. Really.
Right. Yeah. I remember when Main Street was like 3 buildings. And I actually worked on Main Street in high school. There was a store there that I worked at. So I feel like I've been very involved with like the downtown Carmel area. But yeah, the growth has been insane. It is a very different place than when I grew up here, but I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, sometimes you can't do that. You're like, I grew up in a place, and you're like, it's changed so much. Some people are like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But that's nice that you're still here and you're still working in your community.
Yes.
Right? Working locally, helping local.
Right.
Actually, Scott is a resident of Carmel.
He's as pretty local as you can get. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So do you manage the website? Do you manage that website?
I did not build the website, but yes, I wrote all the content for the website. And anything that needs to get added or changed, I handle that too.
Yeah. So.
Directly to social media, and I'm happy to answer on that. I believe it's Brownhound Studios.
And is the website Brownhound?
She's so
and
cute.
She's brown. She's like a little tan. She's really, really cute. She's still a big puppy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She gets so excited whenever I come into the office.
Yeah, she's very hyper. But she's good because she kind of just...
She's a
dog
lover.
Acclimates. You know what I mean? Animals acclimate, and she just kind of acclimated to that style of being in a workshop.
Yeah.
He has a studio, but it's his workplace. So there's a lot of machinery, a lot of tools.
A lot of tools, a lot of machinery, and she's wonderful
and she's just
in there.
Kind of, I mean, I haven't heard of a disaster.
Nope.
Yet.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. So, right. So you said when you went to school, though, University of Evansville, you studied history.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Right. It's weird what you get into, like your major and then what it. But I mean, really, when you were studying history, what did you want to go into? What was when you were doing that? That was your plan, right?
So initially, I was going to go to grad school afterwards and study library sciences to become a librarian, or just get my doctorate degree and potentially teach. But I kind of looked at the job market and went, I think I should shift my focus. As much as I love those two fields.
Yeah.
They were just so competitive that I was like, I think I can
Librarians?
Oh, yes. Very, very competitive field.
Wow.
Yes, and especially in Indiana, there's IU has one of the top library science schools.
Well, they're
IU has the top everything. Yeah,
their library is huge.
Yes, so
huge.
It's a great school to go to and stuff. But so I just kind of shifted my focus and got into doing kind of the business side at a startup. My history degree really helped because I became very good at researching and
reading,
digging and
reading because you want to be, and that's important, right? Because there's a lot of that stuff, like you said, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah,
nobody wants to research, nobody wants to read, nobody wants to really dig.
Right, and so that skill really helped me be able to learn on the business side of things because obviously I didn't have training in bookkeeping or accounting or anything of that side.
You had to teach yourself.
Yeah, I taught myself, and it was a lot of fun. And I, not to toot my own horn, but I did pretty well at it.
Yeah,
so
well, you seem like a smart cookie. So I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
and you're right. The more you dive into stuff, the more you make yourself do, the more you learn, the more you know. Yeah. The more you know, the more you work.
Right.
Right? Because you're like kind of like doing all this kind of stuff.
And I love that. I love kind of jumping into a new situation and going, okay, what's this going to take? What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? And just tackling it head on. So what's been the biggest challenge, do you think? Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably.
And not just managing Scott. Yeah. I mean, like, what has been your biggest challenge since you're like, I'm going to just dive in and do all this other stuff?
Probably, I would say, the project management side of things. It's not technically what it is, but just you get the timeline in your head of like, okay, let's do X, Y, and Z, get it done by here, and let's take, these, new challenges or try this new thing, and then the person that you're interacting with might not necessarily want to, or they've got stuff come up that slows it down. And so balancing that, okay, let's head, charge forward and do this with life, basically. Because in a perfect world, you can get stuff done in 3 weeks, but not
always takes longer
not
than
in the
you
real
think,
world.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Stuff always takes longer than you think. You think, this is it. Boom. Oh, it's gonna be easy.
Right. So it's finding that balance of balancing real life with, ideally this would be done here, because working with creatives and freelancers, it's different than going into a 9-to-5 where you're in an office and you go, okay,
different.
You have these hours to be working, get it done. It's very different when you go, hey, you've got an hour here, you've got 4 hours there, you're working from midnight to 4 a.m. That's right. It's just different. Yeah. But I like that.
Yeah. How have you, now, because you're working, here's the thing, this is, like you said, this is pretty new for you, working one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. And also, Scott was saying before that you guys bounce ideas off each other, which is the best way to work. Like, say he's doing a project. He's like, I have one coming up.
Right.
Are you bouncing ideas off of, like, how should he go about it? How should he start? Kind of. Or are you bouncing ideas off of this is at the time you have? You know what I mean?
Kind of a little bit of everything. There's a project that we're working through right now, getting the proposal set up for it and all of that, where, I think yesterday we sat down and we had about an hour-long conversation of discussing, okay, there's this one aspect with lighting he wants to do. How do we make sure that gets done? And so I, in a hopefully helpful way, like to kind of poke holes and ask questions and go, hey, what if this happens? What if that happens? Kind of just saying, hey, let's think really big picture and ground things a little bit. So I love the huge, grand, big ideas. Shoot for the stars, but let's be real. What's plan B? What happens if something doesn't work out? How can we still keep things as close to the stars as possible?
Right, and I think that's very smart, actually. And plan B, plan C, plan B, plan A, B, C. Right. So because things don't always work out from your mind
into whatever happens.
Actually, come to fruition.
So my goal is to always help to get as close to that target big goal as we can get, and just try and come up with creative solutions to doing that.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about like you are you married?
I am. Yes, I'm married. I have 2 kids.
Oh
so
my gosh.
actually, I took
I'm like, oh, you look 18 to me.
Oh,
Wait.
no, I'm not. Thank you, though, because I just had my birthday, and I went, ooh,
Oh,
how
yay.
old am I? Yeah, I've been married almost 11 years, and I've got my daughter's in first grade. She just started yesterday, and then my son is in pre-K. So,
Oh, God,
yeah.
you got a long road ahead of you
I
there.
know. So I took a little bit of a break between working at the startup and working with Scott to be with them at home. So I'm excited to get
that's
back
good,
into
and
things.
you're balancing that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not easy.
No, but it's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, well, you're like, oh my God. Holy shit. Like, it's fine, everything's good.
I am a very, hopefully in a good way, a very type B person that has learned how to do type A things.
Yeah.
So I'm very go with the flow, but I'm like, okay, we got this stuff we got to get done.
Well,
Let's
that's
do
good
it.
because, you know, when you have, say, a client, what if your client's, any client,
Yeah.
I don't mean anybody, right? Say they get a little overwhelmed or they're
Right.
starting to get overwhelmed. It's good to have a buffer there where you're like, okay.
Right.
Stop. Let's take a breath here. Let's figure out exactly what we need to do so nobody has a nervous breakdown.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important, actually. Because everybody needs that.
Yeah. There's
You know?
always something that happens where you go, oh no.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah,
What's going
yeah.
on? And just being able to
Yeah.
work through that process and not kind of back to the business side of things, not let it affect people's work and their income because, yeah, life gets in the way, life gets challenging. You don't want it to affect your income because you're so overwhelmed by this over here.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now, this is all the things you're doing.
Yeah.
This is, you are a mother,
Yes.
right? Your partner, you have a husband, right? You're managing
Yes.
Scott. You're doing everything for him, everything that comes under there.
Right.
And then are you doing anything for Meg still?
I'm doing some social media stuff for a podcast that she produces, and then
Is that the Omnibus?
The Omnibus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was on it.
Oh yeah, that's
With
right.
David?
Yeah. Dave.
What's his name?
Yes, Dave
Wow,
Gibbs.
that's right.
And that was before I came on. I just came on
Okay.
6 months ago to
Okay.
do the social media stuff. So
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So you're busy,
I'm busy, yes.
but you like that, right? I bet
love
you
that.
like it. You seem like
Yes.
the kind of
Yeah.
person that doesn't want to be bored.
No,
Doesn't want to
I
have
don't-
1 inch of
No,
like you want.
I don't like just sitting at home going like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
God,
kind
I
of a
hate
go
that.
go go.
Yeah, me too. I can't stand it. I get too antsy.
Yes.
I start to get anxious. You know.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, we got to do something. We're just sitting at home.
So what do you
Let's-
do? Okay, this is it. We're gonna wrap it up.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask you when you do have downtime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm sure you enjoy your family and
Oh, yeah.
everything, right? You guys, you're all together. But what do you like to do?
I-
Everyone
yeah.
has to have something
kind of
to be away from their profession,
Right.
Just to, you know.
I kind of do a little bit of I'll call it ADHD thing where I do 2 things at once, where I'll watch a really trashy TV show, like some reality TV show,
Oh, God.
while I'm reading a book. Like that's
Oh, good. Read the book.
yes, that's kind of my 2 things that I like to do at the same
Of
time.
course, that's it. You're like, I read books. That is my.
And I watch fluffy TV.
Oh God. Oh my God. So what? Actually, let me ask you. What do you like to read? Do you like fiction,
Oh.
nonfiction?
A little bit of everything.
And history, fictitious history,
Yeah.
or
I
nonfiction
like.
history.
I love nonfiction. I love any sort of like history book. Still love reading that, and then any sort of fiction. I love the classics, but then there've been a couple like sci-fi books that I've found that I've enjoyed that have been good.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like biographies, autobiographies? You know.
I try to, but I always find them a little dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is odd because I can sit and read a history book, but I can't
Right.
like read an
Yeah.
autobiography. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that also depends on the writing. Is that
Exactly.
person writing it with someone or is someone written it
Yes,
about them?
yeah.
You know, that really makes a difference sometimes.
So if you know any good ones that are well written,
oh,
let me know.
because I happen to like.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
happen to like them, but I happen to also like all that you said. No sci-fi. That's not for me, really. But I do even love like. Fictitious characters. It's like a kind of a bit of a wide.
I feel like that's
Well,
what I care more
like
about.
you said, if it captures you and it's
Yeah.
written so
I'm like, oh, I can.
You would be in all the sections.
Exactly.
Oh my God! But you as a librarian, you're too bubbly. No offense. I know some very nice librarians, but you know what I mean. They'd be like, "Shh, keep it down, Jessica."
I would have
You're
a problem
getting
with that.
a little excited in the
I once got kicked
whatever
off
area.
a golf course when I was in middle school because my friends and I were too loud.
Wow. Oh my God.
So yeah,
Even those commentators are quiet. She's
I
only
know.
18th. Oh, what
I
do you
know.
think?
So
You know?
golf is not my thing. Can't do it because I'm too loud. I
Yeah.
talk too much.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, anyway, thank you so much,
Yes.
Jessica Mires. And you can go to brownhoundstudios.com if you need anything done by Scott Osborne, who she is managing right now and doing basically everything for him except soldering and
Yeah, I don't do that.
building and whatever. So he does a million things. So
I stay away from the sharp objects.
Yes, working with sharp objects and pottery and oh my God, you name it. The guy's like and he runs his podcast for God's sake. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, and thanks for joining us. The Lunch Break with ATI. I'm Cynthia Collins. Oh my God.
Jessica Mires.
Jessica Mires. I almost said Murphy, for God's sake. God, hello. Hey, Jessica Mires. All right, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.